I'm HP and today I'm going to talk about a song of mine. Actually, it's a green song, and it's a very good example if you went through the major modes that you can see that if you have got together the basics of a theory, that this can lead to some very nice results. First I'm going to play some kind of parts of them because it's more improvised tune, and then we work out what you can do with this piece. And there's a link below. This leads to my version of this song, a little video which I recorded a few days ago. So let's listen to the song a little bit. It goes something like this, but as I said, it's more or less improvised, having the background of the major modes. Something more or less like this. So let's check it out on the close view. As I said at the beginning, the background of this tune is coming from the major mode, the basics of the major modes. So let's check it out, what is meant with this. The overall key is C, and as you remember, you find the link in the description below if you want to go through the major modes once again. But I'll give you a short explanation here. We have the C major scale on one string, the related chords C major, on the 1, on the 2 D minor, on the 3 E minor, on the 4 F major, on the 5 G major, on the 6 A minor, on the 7 B diminished, and then we start again from C. So this is what is happening here. And basically what I played before was just C, D major, D minor, E minor, F major, G, and just went through the progression. And at the end I played kind of a diminish. The diminished chord is a replacement for the G, which is normally the dominant chord in C, which most ends a progression. To make it sound more interesting, I used a kind of an open string trick, and that's a pretty easy one. The trick is, first of all, to define a chord. Actually, if you play solo, just need the root and the triad. This is actually what is done here. We're playing C, playing D minor, E minor, F major, and G major, and the diminished one only root and triad. And the ending was something more special. That was a canon of F and G sus, but it's actually F and G. So this is what happened. C, D minor, E minor, F, G. Sounds a little bit classical, but it's actually very nice. And now you can just move around the chords as you like. Just remind, the finishing, you can create your own so-called progression. You can move through the chords, like playing the 1, the 3, the 2, the 4, 1, 3, 2, 5, something like this. And if you don't want to play the 5, you can play the 7 as a replacement for the 5, as I said. And that's basically the whole thing. And the rest is the open string, is the open G string, the open E string. And those, they just work through. And the picking pattern is easy. And then you just move around the chords as you like. And this way you can improvise as long as you like. But now I show the few little tricks behind the tune itself. Of course, even if the theory background is so simple, that doesn't really make the good composition, because somehow you need a few little phrases which work nicely. So, as I said, the final phrase is this one here. This was pretty easy. This is kind of an F. I would say an F major sus9 or something like this. A G6 sus4. And so. And going back to the C, and we end the phrase open G string and then end up here on the C. So this is the final phrase. So the trick behind this piece is you improvise on the first part, moving through the chords as you like. And when you think now it's a good place to finish, then you add the ending phrase. And an alternate ending phrase is the other one, this one. Or preparing for the final phrase is the diminished, adding here in the 5th fret. Then we're moving up here. This is what is this? This some kind of a F sus9 6, something like this. I mean, some chords have complicated names. Doesn't really make sense to analyze what actually the chord is. And end it up, which is nothing else than actually normal C major chords, because here is the 5th above. And then and here I have some little ideas which with the free pinky you can add some additional notes. In the case where you use the pinky in the chord, it's a little bit difficult. Then you can add here with the middle finger here. You can make this phrase everywhere. As an alternative picking pattern. See, works very nicely actually. Or as I said, this is the alternate with the pinky. Here is in the 7th. I mean, you can go through the scale of C major. So you just find the notes here, and then you can add what you want actually. I did do that on the recording, but you can do that. I mean, if you get crazy about improvisation, you can move around the top notes, and these are from the scale. See, it works very nice. Oops. Of course, you need to be able to stretch your pinky a little bit for that. And that's basically how it works. But the main thing behind it is that the modes of the diatonic chord progression in C major from C, D minor, E minor, F, G. F, G, C. That's it. So from the theory, it's pretty simple. But the best things work out really nicely when you make something nice out of simple things. Don't make things too complicated. And that's how it works. I hope you enjoy this little more or less practical, theoretical X-course here in a song of mine. I mean, I really love this song, of course. But it's a very good example, as I said. to connect theory with really practical use and making something very nice. And that's how it works. And you find, as I said, you find a link below to my version of this song on a little video which I made in the Swiss Alps a few days ago, where I got my cold. Maybe you can hear it. I'm not really well today. From this video shoot up in the mountains, I got a cold. It was pretty cold up there. And the other link is that one that leads to the major modes. If you not have gone through it, go through it to have a better understanding what I'm talking about here. Theory is, I mean, I'm not the guy who says you need to know a lot of theory, but the minimum are some things you really need to know if you want to be a more complete player, and knowing the modes is something really very worthy to learn. Okay, see you next time.